Ooh, what's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. It's always Nestlemania and alongside for the rise of man that says, fuck them kids, JC.
Not as much as Cena, though. A 6-year-old flipped him off at him. I can say that I don't think I've ever been flipped off by a 6-year-old.
Oh, you haven't lived then.
Or they just like me. Kids love me.
That's not true.
That is true. Kids actually do love me.
Kids love you?
Yeah.
I find that sort of, I can sort of believe that.
Yeah. Because I like literally have the same interests of them. I'm easily amused.
That's true. You do like poop jokes, that's for sure.
I mean, who doesn't? Come on.
You like potty humor. You like potty humor.
Who doesn't like potty humor? If you don't like potty humor, I question you as a human being.
That's true. That's very true. I do love a good poop joke myself. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about here. We've got SmackDown after WrestleMania. We've got a lot of things going on Raw. We had NXT if you want to dabble in that. We don't have to really discuss, what's going on Wednesday because it's Wednesday, folks. But we could get anywhere. Where do you want to start, JC?
We started the Shine Nestlemania, and you know what? I'm going to start right with it because I think it's time for you to apologize, Adam, because you can no longer call our new United States champion a can because Nestlemania, Zelina Vega, is our U.S. champion. You must acknowledge her. So I am going to give you a moment here to do just that.
Wow, right out of the gate.
Yep.
Right out of the gate. She won. Good for her. I'm more excited for her husband. We'll see how long she keeps it. Do you think she's got a long reign?
You never know with these mid-card title things because it's one of those do they hot potato it? Because I'm sure Chelsea's going to get a rematch, and as we know, she has the numbers game and all this. But you know what? It couldn't go to a more deserving person. This is a long time coming for Zelina. I'm thrilled for her. You could tell what that moment meant to her. She's been a workhorse for them in that division, just like plugging holes for a long time.
Oh, she's plugging holes, all right.
She's been quitting. I mean, that night, man. Whoa, what a night that couple have. You know that kind of sex they probably had after that episode? They probably did it in the arena, and Triple H probably watched, let's be honest.
Jesus Christ, Joshua. Right out of the gate today. I'm just saying.
I mean,
that's what I would yell.
We're all thinking it.
Well, yeah, but you said it.
Yeah, not all of us have fucking headphones over our eyes.
Listen, it doesn't mean that it makes me any better than you. I put my headphones on one at a time. Okay? Don't worry about it. We're still friends. Don't worry about it.
Such an idiot.
I
hope those guys from last week come back.
I hope they don't come back, honestly, because it's one thing when Danny and Joe Backcracker fuck with me, but having people you don't know, like, just blowing up your feed about your fucking stupid headphone thing.
Stupid look that you bring on yourself by looking stupid.
It works. What can I say? I am a dryer guy. You're absolutely right there, Bursky. Thanks for showing up tonight instead of, hiding in the dark for a half an hour. I don't know what the fuck you were last week. Could have used you.
You probably would have joined right in on the fun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I miss Bursky was here last week. I don't know where the fuck he was. Probably busy.
Yeah, I mean, he falls asleep sometimes, and then he plays COD with other people and not his friends, things like that.
Is this a new lady sports coat? No, I've used this before. So it's shame on you for
Doc,
not.
You got him blushing. You got him blushing.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I was blushing. This is me running out of fucking air because I've been running around all day, and I've been in sunlight. But I don't blush really. That's hey, Stoop's in the house too. This is great. We got a lot of people that hate me. This is wonderful. Anyway, Zelina does deserve her flowers for this moment. I think it felt like it should have happened a couple weeks ago. I don't know why it didn't, but very cool moment for her. The only reason I give her a hard time being a can is because she's lost so much. It's nice to see her get her moment. But I am curious to see how long this goes.
Yeah, I'm always curious to see how long anything goes in Nestlemania because nothing is forever. But one thing that is forever is ladder matches and tag teams and JC putting it in the fucking shine because, by God, let me ask you this, Nestlemania. If that triple threat ladder match, which is Street Profits Retained, an absolute banner on SmackDown, if that was on WrestleMania, where would you rank it in terms of matches?
That would be number one for me.
Thank you.
It absolutely would have been number one. There's no way. I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, if you could make an argument that the first night main event had more story, but that's it. In terms of action, car wreck, kaboom of the week, kind of like action, athleticism up just all over the place. Not a moment to spare. Shit I've never seen before. That's what I'm looking at. And I know that's hard over 30 plus years of wrestling fandom to see something you haven't seen before. But God damn it, did that TLC match deliver?
Yeah, it was awesome from bell to bell. It gave it time. The one difference, obviously, of it not being on WrestleMania is it gets way more time on SmackDown. So it wouldn't have probably got that time on WrestleMania, but it just like I'm looking at this and like obviously like we go through this every year at WrestleMania. If there was extra matches, it would just be longer. People would complain anyways. But it was like it was a damn shame because like look at my rule in WrestleMania. I want a ladder match on WrestleMania.
Yeah, on Nestlemania, you're right. Yes,
I don't. Well, I do. It would make you more interesting if you were just climbing ladders all day. It'd be much more entertaining than you just existing.
Wow.
But I think WrestleMania should always have a ladder match, and it didn't this year. They gave it on SmackDown, but they stole the show. They showed Triple H and everyone in the back, like, yeah, next year you ain't leaving us off, motherfucker. You're putting us on WrestleMania because that was awesome.
Oh my gosh, a Ray shows up tonight too. You can't lose when you hit someone with a fan's prosthetic leg. I mean,
that match everything.
I everything but the kitchen sink. But god damn it, was it fun? I really enjoyed it. I really, really did. Doc sucks too. Thank you. Whoever that is, Peter. Thank you.
I know who that is.
Peter, thank you for showing up and putting Doc in his place. Now you guys can have a conversation in the chat while I can let the grown-ups talk about wrestling. Anyway, the TLC match was great. I will say this much to you. Do you think that the TLC match is going to be in the Knocker Match of the Year category as of right now?
Probably not because it was on TV. I know it was commercial free, but
okay. And that's my question to you because it was to me right now. It's obviously recent bias, but I'm thinking to myself, what was better so far? I don't know.
It could be under consideration. I think we have like one or two so far, but yeah, no, I'd have to look.
The problem is I just don't think that we remember TV matches in general.
Yeah, that's the problem. So far, match of the year, we have Cody KO at the Rumble, Zayn Owens at Chamber, and Storm Mariah May at Revolution.
Okay.
Where do you? So it's, I mean, it's fair, and obviously, like ladder matches, it's like it's one of those things. So especially when I do matches, because if I was doing match of the years, I just put every ladder match as it because they're fun. So when I try to think about these things, I try to like, you kind of have to scale them because obviously when you have 6 people in ladders, there's going to be a lot more faster pace than a one-on-one match. So it's one of those, like, you got to balance it. Like, okay, was this really a ladder match that is really worth, like, is this going to be better than what we see from Money in the Bank this year? You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like you kind of have to put it on a scale with a lot of these matches. Like same things with War Games every year. Cause I feel like War Games every year, you could nominate that because that's always a ton of fun, but it's just like, you kind of have to put it like that. And it being on TV definitely hurt it.
So let me ask you this then. If we just went over how great it was and we said it was better than anything at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Doesn't that deserve some type of, I don't know,
you noticed
praise?
that there were no WrestleMania matches on that list. So
no, I know, but that's just interesting to me that I thought Nestlemania. Now you got me doing it. The WrestleMania had kind of like a
egotistical asshole.
Well, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so I was thinking that WrestleMania, although good, I'm thinking to myself, I don't think there's a match of the year in WrestleMania as well. So I just think that TLC deserves a little bit of praise in that that sense because I feel like we can make an argument for it. I think. I mean, right now, anyway.
But. Yeah, your feedback is under advisement. We'll put it that
under
way.
Advisement. What is this fucking HR? Jesus Christ!
Don't you what do you want to go next?
Anyway,
who's next?
Oh, choose your own adventure. I'll say this much: I really, really, really enjoyed a portion of Raw that I just didn't think I was going to enjoy, and I can't believe I'm putting this even remotely in here, but I really enjoyed the entire thread throughout the night, beginning, middle, and end of Seth Rollins, Heyman, Breaker, and Sami Zayn. I did not expect to. I thought it was wonderful, and I'll tell you why. There's one particular thing that really stood out to me. Well, there's a couple. There were a couple of great shots and things that happened. But there was in the middle of the program on Monday, there was this amazing promo with Heyman and Sami in the locker room where he shooed Otis away and they started talking. And for a second there, and the gummy hit in at that point too. So maybe I'm, probably thinking of it too positively. I should do a whole podcast while I'm in the gummy. It'd probably be all shine. But anyway,
you'd be a lot easier to talk to.
I'd be a lot more fun to be around for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just thought when I watched it back and I thought, man, is this not a movie scene? Is this not, like, to me, this was the dialogue between the two, the reactions between the two. You can say what you want about Seth Rollins and whatever, but Heyman and Sami have these really interesting back and forths that I just truly, truly enjoyed. And it felt like I was watching a mafioso movie. Like I just felt like I was watching something like, hey, I know you've always wanted to be champion. We can make that happen. All you got to do is go away. Go to SmackDown. Land of opportunity. Go face Cena. And then, you play on the heartstrings. Like Sammy really does want it. And we've talked about this. Sammy's going to have to be that guy that just scratches and claws to get it. And I just feel they just did a great job, in my opinion. And there was the other part too, where at the end of the night, where they asked him what his decision was, and that shot of Seth Rollins being like, "Don't make me do this," and then he said, "No, I'm not going to take the favor." And then they just stood on the shot of Heyman and Rollins, and you just see Rollins put his head down, and you just hear, and just that thought of like, now you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. And I just thought that was great television, personally.
This was well done throughout the night. Sammy's great. He's always in this role for a reason because he's damn good at getting his ass kicked and just getting people to look great. To me, though, I'm struggling still with this because it's just this. We've done this so many times with Seth, and it doesn't grab my attention enough. And I'm trying because I love Braun. But my problem is when I'm watching this, all I can think of is like, I just want Braun to spear Seth. And it's just to be Heyman and Braun to win the world title. And that's it. I don't need Seth here. I don't. I am glad Seth is a heel. He's much better as a heel. I'm glad you're finally putting him as a heel. But it just like, to me, like, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. So yes, like this was well done throughout the night. Sammy's great. We've done this, I feel like, a million times with Sammy, but it just like, he's like the perfect guy for this role. I love him being like, I'm going to get the world title someday on my terms. Just like, we know, Sammy. It means you're probably never going to get the fucking thing because you're probably going to, unfortunately, get a career-ending injury before you ever get there because we've been kicking this can down the road forever. But yeah, no, it was the right guy to start this with because Sammy is the guy. He's one of those guys that just makes you buy in immediately. You feel for him. You root for him. You want him. I think our boy Ray, since he's here, I'll shout him out. He said it in our little thread this week about, I think after Raw, being like, man, trying to make Braun this big bad heel, but it just is so hard not to cheer for him and bark for him because he's fucking awesome. I'm okay with it because when a guy that's fucking cool, it's good. But I think this is a step in the right direction of making sure they get heat as a group. I think there's always going to be a mix because people are always going to sing Seth's song because they're fucking puppets. And we're all going to cheer and bark with Braun because he's cool as shit. And Heyman's good. I mean, apparently he's engaged to a fucking 23-year-old. God, him and Belichick. What? You haven't seen that? You haven't seen this shit? Apparently, according to the internet, this young little blonde girl, him and Belichick going on double dates. But yeah, hey,
isn't Belichick's girlfriend like an escort or something though?
I mean, no.
That's allegedly what was being said.
The conspiracy. A lot of allegedly. You're telling me Heyman's girl isn't? Like, come on. But that's a different. That's for another podcast another time. But
anyway,
yeah, no, I'm still struggling with this storyline. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. I'm fine with it for now. But I have a feeling the more and more we get into this, every week, I'm just going to be like, it's too much Seth in my life.
You know what? I'll say this much. I can't believe I'm fighting for this because I'm not a Seth Rollins guy as well. And I will say, we haven't said this yet because I cracked up when I saw Danny said Braun Breaker should be sponsored by orange soda. Like that Tanner, man.
Dolph Ziggler taught him well.
That Tanner is like, it's like watching a hot dog in a singlet. It just, that's what it is. I mean, it's hot dog flavored water. That's a Limp Bizkit reference for all of you that don't understand Limp Bizkit. But no, look, I will say this much. I don't know why I'm defending this so much. I just feel like I really enjoy the idea of like, man, the future runs through me. And when I keep hearing that line, I'm like, oh my God, it might take us a year to get there. But Braun Breaker saying, you're goddamn right, the future runs through me. Because I am the future, and then fucking spears his ass.
You can't make me wait a year.
I
can't
know.
do this with Seth for a year. I'll be so miserable every week.
Here's the thing. You are gonna have to strap in, bud. You're gonna get pegged just like Heyman over here.
Well, luckily, like I said, Braun's involved. You know how I feel about Braun. That's my guy. I'm not wearing my meat shirt, but you know I love him and his meat. So I'm trying.
If they add people, will that take away or add to it, or you have to wait and see?
I think it just the way these things go, eventually you add people, but I'm glad they're not rushing it because right now you want to focus on Seth and Braun and you build from there. But there's always a time. It's just like we saw with the bloodline. Oh, it's time to mix it up. Roman has to win another way. So here comes Solo. or Solo needs some help. Oh, here's a fucking 15th Tongan. You know what I mean? It's just like that's just kind of how it goes because that's kind of what they're doing here. And that is the part I will say I like the best of this is Sammy constantly making the parallels to Seth about Roman's bloodline and then CM Punk and being like, you're just jealous because it's so fucking true. And that's why like I'm good with this for now because it just makes Seth look like a jealous little bitch like he is and that he isn't good enough like everyone else. So he's literally trying to be them. And I'm okay with that.
I foresee a whole thing for like War Games in November where it's Heyman and those two and other guys or girls. And then it's like the Reignses, the Punks and the Sammys. I just see it happening. So I can foresee a world where it happens.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to like it, but
no, I like I said, I'm trying because this is going to be the main focal point of Raw for a long time. And so far it's fine. It's fine. I can get past my.
It's fine. That's like asking your girlfriend, "How are you?" and she says it's fine. That's basically what you're saying.
But it's also smart in that situation. Don't ask a follow-up question because it's going to go one of two ways, and neither are good for you. So,
well, you know what? Then you
just acknowledge. You just acknowledge her and say like, "I'm here for you," and then try to walk away,
and then put on some bronzer, and then spear her.
I mean, it is in the name, Braun and Bronzer. Like, come on,
Braun. That's what he should have. His own type of bronzer, the Breaker.
Yeah,
I can see it now. Anyway, anything else that you thought was very super positive?
Well, I will say I'm very excited that Rusev vignettes are back, and he's playing the Redeemer character, which I loved in AW. I could watch a Rusev vignette every week. 2 minutes of my time every week. It'll be some of the best 2 minutes of my week.
Well, that's the best 2 minutes of your life.
I mean, it's Rusev. Come on. We're talking about meat men here. We're going from Braun to Rusev. Like, come on. Oh, my God, that match.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. What if Rusev was part of the fucking stable?
I mean, I don't think it
doesn't fit
in the future. So I feel like it has to be young guys.
Can't wait for Nathan Fraser and Fraxium.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking way because there is nothing menacing about that fucking little Spanish dork with a fucking mask on. He's awesome. He's amazing, but come on.
Dweeb comes to mind.
Yeah.
No, look, I thought it was funny to me because I remember, maybe I'm remembering it wrong and you can tell me because you're a bigger Rusev honk than I am. But like, did it feel like a quieter Redeemer? Like it felt like he was still doing it, but like with less like, my God has forsaken me. Like I just felt like
it feels like a nuanced one, but it also feels like he kind of is picking up the character as instead of starting afresh, if that makes sense. Like, because we've seen this before, and like the people who watch it in AEW understand, this feels like a more mature and like someone who's learned version of that character is kind of what I took away from it. And I think it's a more WWE style Redeemer than AEW, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's fine. I needed some assistance on understanding. That's all. Okay.
Yeah. Should we talk about Aleister Black since we're talking about the guys who came back? Because, Miz comes out and it's like, you see Miz come out and Miz is cutting a promo because he's all upset. He's talking about people ruining his moments and his moments. He was eating a fucking black mass. And he came out, he black masked Miz in the face, and he went back and fucks Zelina on top of her U.S. title. That might have happened later because I don't remember what the order of the show. But.
I'm nervous to go all the way back because I feel like I would do a backflip out of this chair and it would just collapse. But like,
Are you sure you didn't take a gummy before the show?
And then just come up. No, look, it always ruins it when you see the whole crowd like looking at the entrance when the Miz is trying to talk. You're like, oh, well, here he comes. He kind of missed the black mask kick. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. He looked fucking great. I love him. So like,
he had his entrance music and entrance still too, which was the best part of his character. So does anybody know the words to that song?
If there's anybody that knows it, it's you, baby. Boom. Just have Wade Barrett drunk singing ba 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 boom. Wade Barrett sings karaoke. There you go. No, look. We live in a world where Jey Uso is champion. So
you're just copy and pasting your Rusev take from
Aleister Black has a chance. But probably not, right? I mean, I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be a mid-card champion. He'll be on TV. He'll have some cool feuds. He'll have some great matches. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if either of those guys are going to be a world champion at this point. But I'd say Rusev maybe has a better chance. But I don't because he's on the show with the easier title to win.
For now,
yeah. Well, yeah, we never know what'll happen in the future. But yeah, Joe's asking if Lana will be back. I think at some point it's always in the cards, and she's already been there before. And there's going to be a moment. And she's going to come back. It's just like with Miz. There was always like, oh, is Maurice going to come back? Yeah, she'll always come back at some point. Lana will come back, grace us with her on our televisions, and who knows? Maybe her and Liv will have rekindle a little bit.
Scissor me timbers. Anyway, moving on. Anything else that you thought was positive?
Speaking of scissor me timbers, we had a banner match on Monday Night Raw, Nestlemania, and one girl puts the other girl's head between her legs and slam. La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, took on the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky, and they had a banner match. It obviously was broken up by the new alliance of Roxanne and Julia and all that nonsense, but I don't care. This is one of those times where it's like, I'm glad, because I don't think either of these women should lose right now. We got the taste of the greatness of the match, and it ended how it should, and I'm happy it happened, and we'll get it again someday.
There is a theme going on here that I've noticed on Monday and Friday, that there have been matches that I wanted to see, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm like, wait a minute. The bell actually rang. This is gonna be a fucking DQ.
They're whetting your appetite, baby.
Sure enough, it's fucking DQ. And I went, God fucking damn it. They're not gonna give us anything on television anymore. I'm concerned with, because when I watched Monday, or was it? Yeah, it was Monday. I was like, wow, this is a lot of awesome, cool promos, and we're moving things along. But in terms of the actual wrestling, if I was there, I would have felt like I got cheap tickets. Like, I just felt like I didn't get my money's worth with Monday in terms of wrestling. But man,
yeah, you really only got this match, huh?
There wasn't really because I think what it is just like really come out there and give me a DQ finish twice in two matches that I kind of wanted to see. I'm like,
both women's matches, right?
Right, yeah. And I think that was the kind of thing. Like, I know what we're doing here, but like, it just seems like we could get to the same result with different things, in my opinion. I don't know.
I think that's why I had SmackDown higher rated this week, because we had a definitive winner in the tag team title match. We had a new champion in Zelina. We had the return of Aleister Black. And there's other stuff we haven't even talked about yet. But there is one more thing I want to talk about on Raw Nestlemania. Yeah. And you're not going to be happy about this, because Becky Lynch is about to be in the shine. But it's not because of Becky Lynch. What I did love about Becky Lynch is we cut through the bullshit. She's like, yeah, I'm the man that took out Bayley, in her stupid hokey promo voice. And I'm like, good. We don't have to do no fucking bullshit. I like when the villain comes back and is like, yeah, I fucking did it. Makes him more of a villain. I thought it was good. But then something happened that I wasn't ready for. Lyra came out and cut the best promo of her career. And I was like, this is what she needed. This is what we've been waiting for. This is that edge. And this is why I was hopeful with this Becky Lynch stuff, because I'm like, if there is anyone who can bring out something in Lyra, that next level that we're looking for, how she gets to be a main event player, it's going to start with Becky Lynch. And we're already seeing the fruit of that labor. And I loved it, because Lyra came out. This is the most confident she sounded. This is the clearest she sounded. Her messaging made sense. Her pacing made sense. She was doing the walk and talk, and her movements were confident. Everything she did was confident. And I loved it. It was something that I was like, this is what I wanted from this character, a character that I love, a character that I knew nothing about when she debuted in NXT. And every week I saw her, I liked her more and more. And now she's become one of my personal favorites. But I've said every time, like, there's just something missing. And this week, I think, was a big step in the direction of filling that gap of what's missing to take her to the next level. And this is the type of feud to do it. So I hope they continue it. But for this week, it was perfect.
I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but it actually is in my notes. If you don't believe me, it does say that I'm going to give Becky her props, because she made a lot of sense in what she did. Because when she was like, Bayley attacked me for like the last 5 years, I'm like, oh yeah, forgot about that.
It makes sense.
And I'm like, okay, fine. But then I was like, then we get to like, that makes sense. But then like the Lyra thing, I'm like, I'll buy it. I'm not really.
I mean, she did beat her.
No, I know, but like
her title.
No, I know. I get it. But then, like, when Lyra came back out and acted like, more like confident, like you said, was good. And then she said something along the line of like, the aura of the man is gone. I was like, okay, like I'll buy that. That's
music
fine.
To Nestle's ears.
Right. But no, but here's, when she drops that leg drop, brother, you let me know. But no, look, she took fucking 2 bumps in WrestleMania, and now she's got like, we'll see how she does it. She's going to win that Intercontinental title.
100%.
Absolutely, she is.
It makes sense.
Absolutely, and she's gonna chase it, and that's whatever. But god damn it, I don't know. I really, the thing is like, I want Lyra to kind of get there to the tippy top, but there's a lot of great talent, and I am so in my head thinking that she's just not gonna be able to find that gear fast enough to keep up with the people that are in NXT that are coming up behind her. And I do believe that she may get lost in the shuffle.
I don't think she will because I think they've really made it a point and they see her work the past year and they've kind of slow played her. And I think, like, yes, there's a lot of the NXT women are kind of doing both right now. I don't think they're all going to be up. Like Roxanne's definitely going to be up sooner rather than later. Julia and Stephanie, they kind of did this with Roxanne last year and then she was back down as champion. So you know what I mean? So I don't think Julia and Steph are like as immediate. And like, I think Roxanne will just kind of tween, but I think they're just doing this because I think they're trying to show you the next wave and the depth they have, and especially on Monday, because then you get that bump going into Tuesday, because obviously Io was on NXT this week, had a Banner main event, a tag team match. It was her and Jordan Grace beat Roxanne and Julia. So I think it's a little bit of that too, but no, I understand what you're saying for sure, but I think just think about it this way. Lyra was on the roster shorter than a lot of those women down in NXT, and she was already called up last year for a reason, because they know. And there's nothing she's done this year that would lack the confidence that they still don't know. And it's perfect right now because she's on Raw right now. She'll have this feud with Becky probably for a few months. I don't think this is going to be a short one. So that'll take us to the summer and it'll kind of like do the rest. But on Raw, it's very crowded right now at the top. I mean, you're seeing it every week with the amount of talent they have and everything. Bianca's back on SmackDown now, whatever. So we got her at least out of the mix. But so I know what you're saying, but I think with Lyra, since she's already been there, once she gets through this mid-card step, she's going up to the next level. And then on those women coming up, they're probably going to start in the mid-card. They might lose to the champions like they're doing right now with Roxanne, who's taking a lot of L's right now because she makes everyone look fucking good. But she'll do the step of being the mid-card champ. You know what I mean? I don't think they'll just jump over her. I think Lyra will be up because Tiffy kind of got hot-shotted. She just did because she was just so over. And she went to the Tiffy top, so to speak, right away. But I think the progressions are there and they're pretty consistent with how they do it. So I'm not worried about her at all. I think this Becky feud will do a lot for her. It'll help vault her into that next stratosphere where she needs to go.
I just have a complete fear of her being lost in the shuffle and she's going to AEW in a couple of years. So
I feel like you only go to AEW if you flame out, and I don't think she's flaming out because, like I said, this is someone they called up faster than anyone else from NXT Nestlemania. She was not there long at all because they're like, this girl's fucking ready. This girl's good.
And I don't disagree. Like I said, I think she might be one of the smoothest wrestlers I've seen.
Yeah.
You know, well, actually,
her and Roxanne to me are like two of the top. They're at least in the top five. They're top five.
I even put in Vaquer. Like I think Vaquer is smooth too. Like, I mean, she does some, evasive maneuvers that I'm just like, that looks like that woman slithers in and out of anything. I mean, just that's the way she is. I mean,
La Primera.
Well, just making everybody happy. Anyway, so yeah, I just feel like Lyra, it feels like she could be the next Bayley in terms of like on the fringe.
I mean, this is good for her because last year you called her the best women's wrestler on the roster, and then she was immediately in a shitty 6-woman tag feud. And then you like she won most Nestle Cursed. But then all of a sudden you jumped off, you Mia Coupled, and that's when she got the Intercontinental title. So this is the best news in the world for her career.
You're absolutely right, Bursky. I totally do because guess what? It checks.
Yeah.
It checks all the boxes.
Quack.
Checks all the boxes. You ask anybody, any of my friends. You ask any of my friends.
I think we all watch Stephanie Vaquer like Booker T watches Stephanie Vaquer.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Anything
else that's positive?
Yeah, I got more stuff. This was a pretty good week. We can talk about. We didn't talk about the start of SmackDown. Did you not like that?
The start to SmackDown. I did like it. I mean, it's the label of our show. It's our title, our topic. But you know what's weird to me is, thanks. You know what's weird is that as I was watching John Cena and Randy Orton go back and forth, and like, you should have kids. It makes you a better person. It makes you grow up. And he's like, I've been raising all of your children, and da 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 da. And I'm like, well, that's a fucking weird line. But like, I get what they're trying to say. It's like, I'm a better role model than all you parents. Oh, good. I got flipped off by a 6-year-old. Like, I thought that was funny.
It was great. Yeah.
But like, I think the hard part is, and I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I'll love Randy Orton and John Cena at Backlash. It'll be fine. But like, two things went through my head when I was watching on Friday. I went, I still don't believe Cena. Like, he's not all in being hated. He's just kind of like there. And he's just kind of like, oh man, like I can turn it on and turn it off. I don't like that, especially if this is it. Like I want to, maybe it's because of me, like in my head, if this was ever going to happen, I had a particular expectation and I don't feel like he's meeting my expectation, at least from a fan standpoint. Give it time. I'm sure he will, but I just don't like this, like he's still kind of playing with the crowd and still kind of having fun. I just feel like there's not a complete heel feeling when I get John Cena. And the other thing too was like John Cena, and I can't believe I'm saying this because Danny has been saying it, a long time, but like his matches are not going to be very good.
Yeah,
and like, and Randy, but I'm thinking to myself, like, Randy Orton's phenomenal. And
Randy's
Randy Orton,
the one guy, because it's not about wrestling with Randy.
No, I know,
like,
but in my head, I'm like,
into psychology, because like at WrestleMania, because Cody's a guy like that too, which is why I was hopeful. But they really leaned into like, no, we're gonna have Cena fucking squash him, and that's kind of what that was. It was an uncomfortable squash match, like in a weird way. But like with Randy, that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna do that twice in a row. Randy's really gonna lean into the bullshit in the good way. And I think it's going to be like over under 12 and a half bumps for them total in that match.
Wow. Okay. That seems really light. I'd say Orton's bumping like a lot here. So
Orton doesn't bump a lot, bro. He's very good about it. Like he does, like it just like it's not, he does, but he doesn't do like it. Just you watch him, he's always been very good at like avoiding. I mean, he talks about it, but I just think that it's going to be less of a match and more of a spectacle.
Okay, that's fine. The Joe Stopper,
Lewis, that crowd's going to be fucking awesome.
The Joe Stopper saying he played football against John Cena Bertsky. All right, well there you go. That's a fucking
that shows
fact.
The discrepancy between those two.
That's a fucking nerd fact for you. Jesus. Oh man, I'm just now they're going to get into the fucking football. Never mind. I don't give a shit about that. Look. I am nervous because I feel like we're going to get Cena as champion until the very end.
Yeah, and then Cody's going to win it back.
Like
he's going to run through everyone else. I think what would help, and I think because I have similar feelings to you about the character, but I think he's getting cucked by The Rock like we always do. It's like, to make this character more believable, we needed that dipshit fucking Dwayne because he legitimizes this character. But instead, we got it that one night. We never really got it again. Like, that's what legitimizes it. That's the guy he turned for. That's the guy he's doing this for. He's his champion. And he, like, it just, like, that's, to me, like, I'm going to blame Dwayne because it's the easiest guy to blame. He's a fucking loser, piece of shit, does whatever he wants. That's where he likes to fuck with Triple H at this point. And it's just, like, it's all his fault. It's all his fault because I gave him credit last year because at first he wasn't going to be all in, and then he was, and it made it better. This year, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, Dwayne's back. We're doing this. He's going to be all in. It was the opposite. He was all out completely. Wasn't here at all. He fucking went on McAfee and buried the business even a little. It's just like it's Dwayne's fault. Dwayne screwed Cena.
So you saw it on Monday, right? Like he said his thing. It obviously didn't play very well to the audience. I'll say that. I'm just really concerned that when The Rock was like, we're going to go back to the Cody thing. And I'm like, how? Like, how do you do that without Cena? Like, how do you make that make sense? Like, at the very least, WrestleMania, in my opinion, could have been every shitty thing in the match. And then he gets up the ramp and he holds the championship and gives it to The Rock, and pyro goes off, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think at the very least, you could have done something like that. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to get too much into the dirty shit because we don't talk about that shit in the program. But I look at The Rock and I think, here's a guy who literally thinks he's bigger than the business. You can see it. You can feel it. Nobody's bigger than the business. Like, nobody is.
The business was just fine without him.
I honestly,
how the business works. It doesn't need anyone.
I feel like if we're going to get something out of the Cena squeeze here, it needs it now. Like, he needs to help him soon. Like, very soon.
You think The Rock is going to fucking St. Louis?
No, I'm just saying, like, give me something. Give me Money in the Bank. Give me SummerSlam. Give me a 10-pole event where he shows up. Because if not, I don't know. I just feel like you can't.
We got a long way before those shows, brother.
In my opinion, you can't pick and choose when you decide. Like, I understand you want to be a nice person and give him his moment. I understand that. But here's my other thing. You sent out Travis Scott then. Like, that's my other point is, like, if you really wanted to make John Cena's moment his moment, then you shouldn't have paraded out stupid Travis Scott then. It's all or nothing. All or nothing, Dwayne. Get off your fucking high horse and look at the business and realize that it actually needed you this time.
Since you're already hot and bothered, what if we got the rumored match, which is a complete
don't say it.
The Rock, Cena and Travis Scott versus Cody Rhodes and Bad Bunny.
If that happens, I'm telling you right now, that makes no fucking sense, personally. If that match happens, it's going to happen on like a Saturday Night's Main Event. It's not going to fucking happen on a pay-per-view, I bet.
Main event of SummerSlam.
If that fucking happens, I'm telling you right now.
Cardi B, special guest referee.
If that happens,
hey, WWE Universe.
I'm irrelevant, but now I'm hosting. It's like, Jesus Christ. All right. If that happens, I'll shave my head. Bar none.
Chat, write it down. This date, April 30th, 2025. Nestle will shave his head if it's Cody Rhodes and Bad Bunny versus John Cena and Travis Scott.
Yep. An actual match. Bell has to ring. Ding, ding, ding. Not a fucking promo. Fucking ding, ding, ding.
Bad Bunny's come back. It's to wrestle. Oh, man. Now, I didn't want this at all, but now I need it. I need this like I need air.
I'll even do it live. I'll just fucking shave my head at wherever I'm watching it. I don't fucking care.
Did you clear this with your wife first?
No, of course not. I do a lot of things and don't clear it. I ask for forgiveness. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Don't call Cardi B irrelevant, you boomer.
I do love Cardi B.
Says the man that's lurking in his dark room right now. Come on. Put a light on.
He's probably got all his screens going.
He's too busy playing
there's basketball and baseball on
video games. No, that fucking guy. Anyway. Anything else, or can we get heaty? I don't know.
Yeah, let's get heaty. Fuck it.
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Look, I don't really have a lot, per se, I guess. It's just the one thing that really fucking threw me off here was we have this fucking hobnobbing with fucking Fatu and Solo, and they're talking, and then
LA Knight always in
the LA Knight comes out, whatever, fine, and then Mac comes out. McIntyre of all people is like, well, since Jey Uso jumped, Randy Orton jumped the line, and now we can't go to John Cena because I know I can beat John Cena. I'm gonna settle for the baddest dude in the yard, and I'm just like, what the fuck have we learned that McIntyre settles? Like, when? Like, the fact that it actually came out of his mouth, I was just like, I'm not fucking buying this for a goddamn minute. You're going to tell me that McIntyre, who's been a fucking tear, had some of the best feuds in the whole time, been a fucking stalwart champion, been doing amazing things in the upper echelon, is now lowering his standards to a fucking rock stone cone wannabe from fucking out of nowhere, Solo, who can't even get a goddamn match, and Jacob Fatu, cool, whatever. But like, when I looked at that fucking foursome, I was just like, well, this screams fucking stupid to me. Fucking stupid. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You don't have to watch it, I know, but god damn it, I have to for this goddamn program. Yeah, my ass is chapped on this one for sure.
Well, I'll say this. Jacob Fatu elevated that U.S. title because he attracted Drew McIntyre to wanting it. So
elevate, demote McIntyre.
I'm filling the glass half full instead of draining it half empty, Nestlemania. Now, I will say my favorite part of this segment was Solo taking credit for Jacob Fatu's win, and Jacob just being like, no, I'm not, I'm Jake, I yell shit, I'll get mad, no.
You don't know what I mean?
We can all listen to this motherfucker talk all the time.
Now.
But I will say, I don't disagree with what you said, but I will disagree with what you said because if we get Jacob versus Drew, we win. So I'm fine with it.
We're not getting it anytime soon because LA Knight's there.
I'm also here for Jacob versus Priest. So if we get those matches, those are good matches for Jacob. That elevates the title. And because it's one of those things, if Drew McIntyre isn't doing this, because we know he's not going after Cena, what is he doing? So that's why to me, like, I don't hate it. And yeah, the logic, whatever. It's wrestling. Sometimes we got to deal with the bullshit logic, and if we don't like it, that's why we put it in the heat. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look at the light at the end of the tunnel, Adam.
There's always look on the bright side of life. You have no idea what that is. That's how I know them all.
Was it from 1960?
No, actually, it was not. It's The Life of Brian. You need to be cultured.
When did that come out? I don't even know what this is.
Monty Python.
I know what Monty Python is. I can't say.
Have you probably even never seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail? No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
You have? Okay.
I probably haven't seen it in like 15 years, but
okay, fine.
Probably more than that, actually. How old am I?
Yeah. You're up there. You're up
Not
there.
anywhere near you, bro.
I still got better hair than you and a better hairline, so that is what it is.
That's because you actually grow it out, bro. I purposely cut it short because I don't like to fucking sweat in my head. I like to be aerodynamic.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
I love it when he does that. He's going, all gas, no brakes. And I'm just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fucking, he can tell me to fucking eat my vegetables. I would. He would. Jacob Fatu could cure anything in this world. I'm convinced. The way he has conviction in his promo, he could do anything.
Yeah,
that man could do anything.
The conviction part.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow, Joshua.
I swear you do that on purpose because that's like the one word.
Listen, you brought it up. You brought it up. I don't know.
He's a fucking man.
I'm just saying.
What other heat you got?
Well, I don't really believe Tiffany in her promo. Like, as I'm watching her, I'm just like, her sounding of the voice that she's speaking in her promo just makes me feel like I'm listening to that bitch in high school. And I'm like, I know you're really good at wrestling sometimes, but just like the match itself kind of fucked up in general, which whatever. And it was a DQ finish, so it's like null and void and doesn't matter. But like, as I'm listening to the promo, I'm like, it's the Seth Rollins thing backwards in a way where it's like, in theory, you look at her and you're like, yep, I'll cheer for her. But then she opens her mouth and you're like, nah, I'm good. And that's just how I feel. Like it's nice to have like that friend that has that whiny ass voice. But like, it's a little too much on my nerves as I'm watching on Fridays. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't believe, speaking of conviction, I don't believe the authenticity of her trying to be like, look at me yet. I just don't think she's a babyface. Like, she's going to be a heel.
Yeah,
like
no,
she's not a good babyface. And I think that's the hardest part is like, she's very popular, which that you can see it.
Because Tiffy gives out stiffies, so they had to turn her baby.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's usually how babies are made, Josh.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, Adam.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to tell you.
I'll say this because look, I love Tiffy. I think she's great. I enjoy her on my television. I think some of her matches are very up and down, but I appreciate the athleticism like I always do. But the same thing happened when she was champion in NXT. I got sick of her as champion really quickly. And now that we got the Charlotte thing and it did not live up, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, this Jade thing, it was cool because I didn't expect it. I love this because it kind of involves everything and mucks it up and it set up returns and all this other bullshit stuff and Naomi looking great. But yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm like, Tiffy's going to be a babyface. She needs to lose this fucking thing soon because they're losing my interest. And the same thing happened in NXT. It's unfortunate because she's good, but just one of those things where I think that she was put in this position too early. But I agree with them putting this in her position because, like Charlotte said, sink or swim, kid, because she's that damn talented. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be sunshines and rainbows. And right now, it is not that.
I would love someone else to be champion right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem is that she's doing everything she can. She's not technically doing anything wrong, but fatigue is sitting in for me. Like it's setting in, excuse me. It really is. Because as a fan, I want to be excited. But what happened on Friday, I was just like, okay, this is it. The ship has sailed. Like, let's give her a break and let's come back and figure something out. It is what it is.
I'll give you 4 options to beat her. Heel Bianca, Naomi, Jade, or Nia Jax.
Do I have to order them?
No, just pick who you'd want to beat her.
Naomi.
I agree with that, but if Bianca turns heel, I want her to win all the fucking titles. I just don't know if they're actually going to do it. They're teasing it, and they might do it eventually, but I won't believe it until I fucking see it.
Our boy Domi's in the thread here. Tough time keeping the momentum in her matches and promos. That's
perfectly said.
That's an astute observation from Dom. Yeah, I agree. It's hard because you got to put her on the TV. She's TV. I mean, you look at her, you're just like, yep.
Yeah, she can be on TV, but right now, I think for this division to reach its true potential, we need a new champion.
Danny's saying Chelsea needs to drop the Scots and challenge Tiffy. Now, listen, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I just don't know if we're going to ever live in a world where Chelsea's going to have a main championship. Maybe a Money in the Bank cash.
I think she could because she screams a Money in the Bank winner at some point. But unfortunately, Danny, I think it's with the Scots, you Scot shamer.
Scot shamer. Yeah, finally got one there, Daniel. Yeah. All right, whatever. Anything else, or would you like to get hopeful?
I'm trying to remember what your hope was about, but are we not talking about McAfee and Gunther?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So
that's not your hope, right?
That is not.
Should I try to make it my hope? I don't know if I'll make it about my hope. So you want to go to the hope?
Well, my thing is you clearly didn't put it in the shine. So I want to lay out.
I actually do have it in my shine notes, but I had so much shine this week that I had to just stop giving out shine at some point.
I will say this much. You can make it a hope if you want, but just so I can tee you up for this. I really thought McAfee had a great promo, like a really heartfelt, authentic promo. Like I thought like there are times where he annoys the fuck out of me on commentary. And I feel like if Gorilla Monsoon was still on this earth commentating, he'd be like, shut up, Pat, like in the middle of some of the things he says. Cause sometimes he does take away from the moment because he's a goofy motherfucker. He's a goofy motherfucker. But when he stood up on that desk and he's like, I'm a fucking bum from Pittsburgh. And like, I was like, okay, there it is. Like, that's why people love him, because he's fucking authentic. Like he is who he is. And that promo was that. And then I just like, in my head, I was like, he's going to get fucking lit up by Gunther. Like he's going to like, and the other thing too, what made me think about this was, is this a way to get him off television to get Corey Graves back on Raw? Well, for the summer at least.
Well, yeah, if he does take a break. But hit my music. Glorious. You're my only hope. Because look, I'll start by saying this, Nestlemania. Pat McAfee's like my favorite media person, period, right now. I enjoy the hell out of him because he does it a different way. He doesn't apologize for it. And it's just everything he does is interesting. I understand why people are annoyed with him, but I just think I think it's refreshing in the medium that it is that he does this. And plus he's a wrestling guy too. So that puts him up in my book. And yeah, obviously he does 100% take away from moments, but he just brings enthusiasm. And when I watch wrestling, I love the enthusiasm because I think it's infectious. He revitalized Michael Cole. And Michael Cole has said that. And I think that's a huge plus. I think he adds to more stuff than he takes away from. Like, that's why this Gunther thing's happening. He was such a good thing supporting Jay and being anti-Gunther. But even before they were a thing, that it made sense that this was coming. And Pat has sold his soul for Gunther. Be ready for this at Backlash, Nestlemania. I got to get ready to get this out of my mouth because I might need to brush my teeth after. My hope, Pat McAfee defeats Gunther at Backlash. Obviously, he's not doing it on his own. He's going to need some help. And there are plenty of Gunther matches that we want to see. Two in particular of guys that haven't been on TV for a long time. And I'm going to do them both right here, and you're going to have to guess real or fake which one I really want. So, Gunther's just beating up Pat McAfee. And, whatever is happening. Ref gets knocked out. Done. Dun, 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 dun. Out comes Brock Lesnar. F5 beats the fuck out of Gunther. For some reason, throws Pat's lifeless carcass on it. And Brock Lesnar, for whatever reason, wants to go after Gunther and give JC the match he's been robbed of for many years. Option 1. Option 2. Pat McAfee needs some help. And there's another match rumored with Gunther. Da-na. Da-na-na-na. Goldberg gives Gunther the shittiest spear he's ever given. Throws McAfee's lifeless body on it. 1, 2, 3. Gunther carries out Pat McAfee on his shoulders as the winner. Goldberg does. And we get Goldberg Gunther. Which one do you think I actually want? And which one do you think I actually do kind of want the more I talk about it?
Well, you would think Brock Lesnar, and then the more that you've talked yourself into, it would be Goldberg.
That is normally what I would say. But I'm reversing it here on the fly because as I was saying the Goldberg one, I'm just envisioning the internet burn. Because you're like, Gunther, he should not have to stoop to this level. First Pat McAfee, and now Goldberg. I'm a fucking virgin, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So I want it. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Hashtag JC's knows. Goldberg, Gunther, McAfee, 1, 2, 3. Make it happen.
I think the Goldberg thing is way more like possible. I don't think the
because
Brock Lesnar
might
thing.
never come back. 'Cause
Brock may
A,
never come back.
the stuff, and B, Brock fucking
Doesn't
doesn't care.
need it,
Goldberg
yeah.
clearly wants to because
Yeah.
he keeps talking about it. So
I think the other thing too is like I've never seen Brock and Triple H interact in a way that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I just feel like Brock and Vince McMahon had that feeling, and I just don't think
because Vince knew how to speak Brock's language.
Right.
Money and it rhymes with oars.
Pores.
Yeah, because money and pores goes together.
If you want those whores to be yours, drink Coors. Anyway, my hope, since we didn't bring it up in the Shine or the Heat, so I figure this is a great place to bring it up so we can have a discussion in the program. Jey Uso is going to have a challenge and Backlash with Logan Paul. Now, a lot of people, my timeline was blowing up talking about, I cannot believe that the fucking title is Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. And in my head, I was thinking it makes perfect sense to me because I'm thinking, okay, they fucking strapped the rocket to this guy, right, JC?
Correct.
They fucking make him a household name dude selling fucking merchandise everywhere, right? He's got the Bret Hart thing. He takes the sunglasses off, gives it to a cancer-surviving kid in the fucking front row. He's fucking got that. He's got the fucking yeet. He calms the fucking crowd down. He's doing his fucking thing. He needs to be bigger than he already is. How do you make somebody bigger, folks? You put him with the Maverick. You put him with him, and you're going to sit there and tell me, oh my God, this fucking match is going to suck. Guess what? It's not about the goddamn match. It's about making Jey Uso, solidifying him and making him a fucking star, putting him on that podcast after the fucking match so the whole world knows exactly who Jey Uso is. Because that is how we're going to get staying power for Jey Uso. Because guess what, folks? The minute he's fucking choked out, come through at WrestleMania 41, there was already an expiration date on Jey Uso's yeeting as world champion. But guess what?
Every babyface, baby, that's how it works.
And guess what? Logan Paul is going to be the fucking serum to get injected into those veins to keep Jey Uso's fucking train going, folks. And you know what? Here's my thing. Everybody's going to say this, like, whatever. Obviously, it seems like Jey Uso is going to beat Logan Paul out of the gate here at Backlash because they just won the goddamn thing. Here's my hope. That will happen at Backlash, but I am going to predict that Logan Paul wins Money in the Bank, and when he gets his another shot at Jey Uso, he then will cash in on Jey Uso and win the World Heavyweight Championship, and it'll be a big fucking deal. It might happen in the summer, it might happen in the fall, but it's going to happen. And I think this is a perfect way to make us forget about it after he already made Jey Uso. So that's my hope.
Let me make it even more simpler for you, Adam. Jey Uso, babyface champion, wins at WrestleMania. First feud, you need something exciting. He obviously has to win, but it has to be exciting. So how do you keep Jey's momentum so the fans don't fucking turn on him and start looking for the next guy, which inevitably the fans always do? You find a guy that nobody fucking likes, check. Oh, yeah, and he probably should have some momentum. Oh, yeah, he beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania, check. Easy. This was a fucking layup. There's a guy, Logan will lose. He'll disappear, come back for the ladder match, and it'll be fine. But it's just like, this is the perfect thing for Jey because this is how you keep his groundswell of momentum without it coming down at all. Because obviously, there's only one way to go when you reach the top. It's down. But you try to stay up there as long as possible. And the best way to do it, first feud, Logan Paul, fucking easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, especially a quick turnaround. Doesn't need a lot of setup because people hate Logan Paul. People love Jey Uso. Sometimes wrestling's as simple as that. Cha-ching, ba-ding, bada boom. That's all we need.
I mean, just think about listening to yeet, boo, yeet, boo. Like, that's exactly what they're looking for. It makes total sense to me. So people need to get the fuck off the jock and get ready to just have fun here. You know what I mean? Like,
we've talked about them a lot today. The virgins are getting too much airtime today. Fucking losers.
Fuck them kids.
Speaking of virgins, my comeback. We're in the comeback. I'm giving it to the newest signees to SmackDown. Fraxium. Nathan Frazier, great theme song. Axiom, shitty theme song. They mashed them together, so the first 5 seconds are cool. The rest of it is like whatever, math. But yeah, no, this made sense. These guys fucking carried NXT. They made us believers. They're the best in-ring tag team right now on the planet. Challenge me. Consistency. over the work they've done the last year. You may not think they're the number most talented, but from what they've done, bell to bell, every match delivered. Fuck, they had a fucking banner with fucking Hank and Tank WrestleMania weekend. That was one of my favorite matches of the weekend. I didn't think Hank and Tank could fucking wrestle. More on them in a minute because I should have gave them my comeback as well. Because I realized I was doing something during NXT and it was a Tiffany epiphany for JC.
Oh, I thought you were putting your hand down your pants is what it sounded like. So.
No, not with Hank and Tank. God, no. I do like meat, though. But I'll say this, Nestlemania, to finish up the Fraxium. It made sense. Putting them on SmackDown with all these great tag teams. We're in for more banner matches. It's very exciting. It's great. But my comeback's going to Hank and Tank because, look it, I didn't want to fucking like these guys. So, like, oh, whatever. They're just a fucking more hyped version of Heavy Machinery. Seen it before. I don't know if either one can wrestle. The Tank guy kind of annoys me a little bit. Hank's a doofy-looking dumbass motherfucker. But, like, I really appreciated their run. I like their moment. They had a great match with Fraxium. And I'm watching NXT today. They're facing the stupid team of Briggs and I don't know what the other guy's name is, but they do nothing for me. But literally, I find myself and I'm just sitting there in my living room. It's quiet, windows open. We get to the point of their song and their entrance, and I go, honk, honk! And I'm like, motherfucker, no! I've been converted. So as of today, April 30th, 2025,
oh, Jesus.
JC, I'm a Hank and Tank guy. Honk, honk! They did it. They fucking did it. Like Jason Tatum said, he said, we did it. Hank and Tank, you did it. You made me a fan. I didn't think this day would ever fucking come with you doofy looking dumbass motherfuckers, but honka honka, I'm in, baby.
It's like watching like Joe Gacy with like a weird sympathetic like Seth Rogen. And that's what that tag team is. It's so fucking weird. I don't understand it, but it works. If Tiffy gives you a stiffy, will Hank and Tank make you wanna honk?
You know what? Honka honka, I'm all in, baby. Honk honk. Like I said, I didn't think this day would ever come because
my face hurts.
You told me this even 3 weeks ago. I'd have been like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
not me. I'm way too cool to like Hank and Tank, but Hank and Tank, you did it.
I have 2 comebacks this week because I was very excited. 2 comebacks. I can't believe I wasn't going to do this, but now that I saw it, we didn't talk about it, so I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was fucking great. First off, I'm going to give it to Nia Jax because she's not like most girls, and fuck all of you for hating on her. So that's fine. Nia Jax is back, and Tiffy needs to have somebody fucking face her.
Yes, because we definitely want to see a fucking 15th match between Tiffany and Nia.
Listen,
that's what the doctor ordered to save her fucking reign.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, Nia's a better champion than Tiffy ever was. So that's what it is.
Because she's
so
a heel,
it makes sense. It makes sense. The other thing that I thought was fucking great on SmackDown that I couldn't stop laughing at and I enjoyed thoroughly was when Miz gifted Mello the fucking necklace with the big fucking face. And I was like, of course, because that makes so much fucking sense. It just looks fucking funny. And then they fucking called him the 10th wonder of the world. And I was just like, if Andre's 8 and China's 9 and he's 10, and I'm just like, this is fucking great. This is so fucking, I am so in on this. I love it. I fucking love it. I just think it's great. And I'm just so interested in seeing where this goes. And if they sell those Andre fucking necklaces, I got to get one. Because that's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome.
I said it every week since it started. The Miz is getting Carmelo Hayes where he needs to go. Yeah. Carmelo Hayes was stuck. And he was very close to just being that guy that just puts people over because he's that good. He was stuck. But they gave him the Miz. And the Miz is doing his damnedest to get him up that card, and he will. By God, that 10th wonder of the world thing was genius. The necklace is hilarious. It's just like every week we're seeing more and more of this working because the Miz is a true elevator. He is a true elevator. He's one of those guys. His character is selfish, but the real life Miz might be the most selfless guy in that locker room. Always has been pretty much for a very long time. So I am loving all this as well. James
is saying Logan Paul is a joke. James, no. We're not. I'm not going to allow you to talk.
He's a joke that has a lot more entertaining matches than about 80% of the roster. So he can be all the joke you want, but
will you buy an action figure of Logan Paul? Then would be my question. Are you completist? The Miz is a great worker, yes, of course. But no, I'm just saying, don't hate if you're going to buy the figure, you can't hate on him.
I mean, if you are an action figure collector, you probably need to got to catch them all. Pokemon style, can't not have one in the collection, Adam. That's not how it works.
Hey, I want to be
like them or not.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's a great song. I don't care what anybody says. Big finish.
Yeah, big old finish on SmackDown this week. We have the aforementioned Miz taking on Aleister Black. I didn't see anything else advertised. They might have added it, but I didn't see it. So we'll go to Raw. We have Penta versus JD McDonough. Yeah, that's going to be a great match. I'm all in for that. And we also have Nestlemania. Get your fork, get your steak knife, because it's all about that meat. Rusev versus Otis. This match is going to fucking slap. Literally. Oh, he's got a fork. You're halfway there. I'm glad you're not holding a knife. That'd be kind of weird.
I was eating right before we went on air. So
all about the meat. So we got a nice meat match on Monday Night Raw.
I was going to go a little too far. I have a little slab left of turkey meat. I was going to put it in my mouth, but I felt like that was probably a little too much. And Joe, the backcracker, would have totally photoshopped it. So, I get enough gifs from all you guys and fucking photoshops of me. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So that's that Nestlemania. But I do, since it's a Wednesday and we don't have to talk about the other stupid show, we can talk about the Tuesday show. They're setting up because they got a PLE coming up soon. We're in the New Year predictions, so you got to brush up. But they're having a 25-man battle royal to determine the number one contender for Oba's thing. The cool part of this match, though, obviously the usual suspects are all in it. Trick or Javon are probably going to win. But I love that the Undertaker's throwing the 3 LFG male standouts, including Maxine's boyfriend, will be in the mix. They're Anthony Luke, Jasper Troy, and Shiloh are all going to be in this match, showing what they can do. I don't know when they taped the show, so these guys have probably gotten a lot better since the show. So I'm curious to see how they look on our television screens, but it's just an extra thing. But I'm curious who wins. I'm assuming, like I said, it'll be Trick or it's something, but you never know because Trick's kind of doing this heel thing with Joe Hendry too. So
Joe Hendry could particularly win there, couldn't he?
He could, but him and Trick probably take each other out. So maybe it's just Javon. I mean, but Javon like that, those two, I ain't gonna be mad about that.
Okay, well, it's weird that the LFG guys are in there, I'll be honest, but maybe they just got to fill it out. I don't know, but
I think it's just to put some spotlight so people continue to watch that show and also being like that. Those guys are coming. That's the point of these shows, is to make them personalities before they ever hit our screens. I mean, because half the people on that show had barely wrestled, but it's just it's funny though, because these 3 guys, it's the winners of male and female get the contracts, and the fact that they're debuting these 3, I'm like, maybe we have a surprise male winner. And that's why these 3 are just debuting now, because we're entering playoffs this week on LFG. So that'll be interesting. But we also have other number one contender matches. I see James loves Julia. I love her as well. And Roxanne Perez. Julia will be taking on Jordan Grace in a number one contenders match. Are we going to get Julia Vaquer Part 2, or will Jordan Grace muscle her way into the main event?
I feel like you got to give Jordan something here.
Yeah, it makes sense. It feels like Julia gets screwed somehow or something happens or whatever, because it does. It feels like they're going to kick that down the road.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Jordan's kind of on a hot streak in some way. I feel like she just has to be treated a certain way. Julia can bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. We also have Kalani Jordan taking on Zarya because she wants a shot at Ruka. And then we have Honk 6-man tag, Hank and Tank with Joe Hendry, we believe, taking on Nestle's favorite faction, the Dark State.
In a 6-man tag, nonetheless.
Yeah, but Nestlemania, it involves Joe Hendry and Honk. Do you know how much fun it's going to... It's weird because we have 2 of the most fun things on NXT versus the worst thing on NXT, which is this supposed to be this evil thing. It's going to be quite the combo. Honk.
I say his name and he appears. I believe in Honk. I get it. It'll fucking work. It will. It'll work. I don't know. I just
one more question for you though with NXT.
Yes.
Because I'm curious how you feel about this, but they're doing this feud with Tony D and Stacks. And I'm curious what you think this means, because to me, watching it, I'm like, Tony D and Stacks were the ones that made the most sense together. This obviously always is where it could go, but I'm curious, are they doing this because they're just calling up Tony D by himself, or are they just to me, it's interesting. I'm not sure if I like it yet, because I don't know if Stacks is the guy, but I'm curious your thoughts.
What went through my mind, and I heard Shawn Michaels say this once in an interview. He's like, I don't know how long I can hold on to Tony D. And not in the wrestling sense. He thinks that Tony D is going to go into Hollywood. So there's a portion of me that feels like they're going to move on from Tony D, even how great he is, because I feel like they're going to make Stacks the fucking leader, and it's going to be kind of a less than feeling, even though I like Stacks a lot. I think he's cool. He definitely can do a good promo. But did that guy fucking die? They didn't really
I think it's going to be a twist where Luca and what's her name are in on it with Stacks. That's my prediction for this feud.
That
because,
makes
like
sense.
you said, I think this is trying to position Stacks to keep this gimmick going in NXT. Because with Tony D, like he's been down there long enough. This guy could have been called up 3 years ago because he's that damn good. They clearly just kept him there because they probably wanted to work stuff out. But it's like it's put up or shut up time. Like he's getting called up soon whenever they do this draft or whatever. So that's where I think it's going. But I'm just not sure. Like, it's just like, it makes me a little sad because I really enjoy the Tony D character. It was great when he debuted by himself, but it always made sense to give him a family. But now you're doing the thing again. Like, if you're going to call him up like this, he's not going to have a family again. So,
and when they call up the rest of these, if they call up the rest of these people, because I think that's the thing, like, he's a proven commodity. Like, you look at Tony D and, like, if he's not going to WWE, he can go in the movies. He's that good.
This is sink or swim for the rest of them now. It's like your turn to step up and be the top to see if you have it. Because I know Tony has it.
I think Stacks will be fine.
Yeah.
The other two I'm not necessarily in love with, so I just...
Rizzo's gotten better, but I fucking hate her accent so much.
I think you know what it is? It's like a weird mouth thing. I don't know. It's something I don't know. It's just the way I see her jaw move sometimes. I'm just like, is she all right? Is she get fucking hit in the face or something? And the other guy just feels like he could be replaced by anybody.
Yeah, no, he hasn't done anything to stand out.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the hardest part is like Stacks can be all right.
Yeah, Stacks has a good look. It works.
Yeah.
The look works for him. Like you said, he's decent in the ring. He's decent promo. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting because I think Tony's gonna put him over like crazy. But to me, it's not hitting for me yet, and that makes me sad.
Wasn't there the other guy that got canned in NXT and then went to AEW and then we never heard from him again?
He was there for like a week and I have no idea. And he was the one I think we thought was better, wasn't he? Like two something.
2 dimes or something.
Yeah, 2 dimes. Yeah,
or whatever.
2 dimes. Yeah.
It's like that guy was great, and then he fucking did something with drugs or something.
He was clearly a dumbass. So
yeah, whatever.
They gave him a nice boot.
I don't know. Why would you break? I mean, I guess we talked about it, but why? Bring him up together. I don't know, but
yeah, no, but it's one of those things like that. It's like when they called up Santos, but they didn't call up Elektra with them. That was another one of those weird things. It's just like, but sometimes it happens in NXT because part of NXT is we see it all the time. They put inexperienced people with experienced people, like you're seeing with the Shawn Spears faction. We saw it here. Like there's just endless cases of it. You do it for a reason, but eventually it's like, okay, that top person needs to come up. But I don't know if the rest of them are ready. So they got to make the decision. Do we bring them all at once or do we break it up? And clearly this one, they're breaking it up.
Can be a sad day.
Yeah, because I enjoy them. I enjoy them a lot. I enjoy the backstage segments, doing the little restaurant type things and all the things they allude to, and the outdoor segments on the bridges. Like it's a fun gimmick. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like Andre Chase is always going to be in NXT because that gimmick will never work anywhere else, and they've revitalized it. And this is a great gimmick for NXT. This family stuff, main roster would have to be different, and maybe it's like they just keep it there and they make Tony something different. Probably still the Tony D character, but a more solo aspect on the main roster.
Might be the death of him.
It could be, but at some point, it's always gonna sink or swim. And if they feel like he's good enough to have a faction, they'll give him one. We see it all the time.
Okay. Anything else on NXT you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I mean, I just love it. It's the best show on TV, and we don't get to talk about it because we usually go head to head with it. So it's nice to be able to talk about it this week.
Okay. Want to get the fuck out of here? All right. On that note, thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week at our regularly scheduled time, Tuesday at 8:30. 8 o'clock, sorry, 8:30. I'm tired.
8 o'clock, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Tuesdays. That's what we do. Jobber Tuesdays. On that note, thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with more Jobber Knockery.
Honk, honk.